Welcome back to Jeff Koinange Live. This is the kind of shows that we need to do more of. Forget toxic politics. Let's get some inspiration. Dr. David Wachira, his wife Cecilia here. My God, what a story. You guys are just, it's Cinderella. I hope this ends happily ever after. Huh?
I hope so too. We pray. No, we took it about seriously.
Yes.
Like for life.
Cecilia, how did you all meet?
We met in Washington, D.C. about 3 years ago, actually, coming up next month.
Yep.
And we dated. We did a little long distance while you were in Zim. And then he proposed in November of 2019, and I said yes, without a doubt.
Did you know what this whole thing was about with the turban thing? Did you have any clue about it?
I did some research.
You did some research? Okay. All right.
It didn't bother me.
No.
No, I found it, I was intrigued, actually. And it drew me closer to him.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed how different and unique he was, and it was good.
I think we're the people with the problem here. You know that? We're the ones. I don't know why. We're the ones who question, what's this Akorino stuff?
Yeah, I mean, when we're together, I see that a lot of people stare at us and they'll ask what it is, or they'll ask me what it is. Yeah. And now I've learned about it, and it's a part of who I am now too, since I married him.
Yeah.
And
but they think I'm a driver. That happens a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
Like where?
So
in DC?
Oh yeah, I went to compete. Oh, I don't want to mention that.
You just did. Go on.
And so the staff like, yeah, just drop her off over here and you can go park. I was like, it's my car. It's my wife. No. I'll park wherever I want.
No. Yeah. What do you do?
I'm a professional photographer in Washington, D.C. I do sports, weddings, and, you can throw in a president here, here or there.
Or three.
Yeah.
Wow. And what's that like? I mean, Obama?
Yes. That was
George
probably my
W?
favorite.
Was it?
At the end. Yes, at the very end of George W.
George
But
W.
Obama was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Loved all of his inaugurations. I even got to dress up and feel like Cinderella for a night. And unfortunately, it was before I met him, or else he would have been my date to every single one of them.
No, she has all these pictures from the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Right.
And we have all these pillows. Actually, the first time I found out that she was a professional, well, I knew she was a photographer, but the first time I realized the extent of it, because she didn't show. I was at her place, and she had a rosary, and she's not Catholic, and a beautiful rosary, and I was like,
just
wow.
hanging there.
It's hanging on a book. I was like, this is like an ornate piece. I was like, Cecilia, where did you get this from? And she goes, oh, the Pope gave it to me. I was like, the Pope?
As in the Pope?
So when he was in DC, they did a personal shoot, and he took his rosary and gave it to Cecilia.
Pope Francis?
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Did you meet Mandela?
No.
I did. I'm kidding. I just, goodness. Wow, the Pope.
Yeah, it was a truly remarkable experience. I, thought, I had to pinch myself. Is that really happening to me?
Yeah.
So I feel really blessed and fortunate.
Wow. We just put some of your pictures on air. This incredible stuff that you do. It's really, really nice.
Thank
and you obviously, it's a passion. You love this stuff, huh?
Absolutely. I started doing it when I was in high school. So that was in early 2006. And then I photographed my first wedding, and I fell in love, and I hit the ground running with it.
And look at your wedding pictures. Look at you guys now. Look at that.
Yeah.
Who did that? Your team or?
His name is James, and I met him on Instagram. So the hashtags work. I never met him my entire life, but he was amazing. And
it was the most difficult part of our wedding, picking the photographer.
Is that right?
Yeah, because she had standards.
Correct. She has her own standards. She can't do it herself, obviously.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm looking at the price. Like, this is getting a little.
That's how I make a living.
Yeah.
They're beautiful pictures. They're beautiful
you.
pictures. And you've been to Kenya. This is not your first time. You've been here many times before.
Oh no, he took me to Kenya 3 months after we started dating, actually. So in July of 2018, he brought me to Kenya. I photographed for the Kenya Youth Summit, and he took me on our first safari. I got to see elephants and a cheetah, and I've been here probably 9 or 10 times after that. So it's like second home to me.
You fell in love with this place.
I fell in love with David, and then I fell in love with Kenya.
Yeah.
So I'm here.
Look at you. What does she think of Nyahururu?
It's cold. Surprisingly for Scandinavian.
Norway?
Yeah. She's. I always question, are you sure you're from Norway?
Right.
We were in Nakuru today, a little bit high, right off Nakuru, and she was quite cold. And I was like, my hometown is a little bit more colder than this. Yeah.
Wow. Well, what's the best thing about this man? Tell us. I mean,
Wow, you're putting me on the spot here. The best thing about him, I love that he gives back. He's always opening his heart to other people. He's looking to, further children that we don't even know. We want to give them an education. We want to give them a job. We want to help them any way we can. And if he can do that, then I'm going to stick by his side for as long as we both shall live, and do that for and be there to help him.
Oh, I'm about to cry.
That's sweet. It's moving.
That's really sweet. But tell me something. When David, you've been away 24 years. You come back, you have a European wife. Do you feel that people think that you're entitled to help them? You know how people have this self-entitlement. You made it.
Yeah.
Why don't you help us?
Yeah, it's a big problem, because when in the outreach work that we try and do, when we ask, who needs help, legitimate, everybody raises their hand, including people who can afford school fees, and they masquerade themselves as people who cannot, and they take advantage of the situation, and so the funds that we have are not able to actually go to where they need it. And then there is this expectation, or I don't know what the word to use, that because you've been outside, you should give back. I mean, not by give back, of course, yes, but you should give me something, right? It comes a lot, whether it's at the petrol stations or whatever. They say, mkubwa, si tununulie chai, right? So
wapia macho.
Yeah, wapia macho.
Yeah, that's an everyday occurrence now.
Yeah.
And they feel they're entitled to it.
Yeah.
Like they took you to America, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Let's not play too much. So, you've been married, 7 months now? 7, 8 months?
7 months.
7 months?
Yeah.
We got married on Loving Day, which is the anniversary of the Supreme Court where they made it legal for interracial couples to get married.
Where?
In the United States.
In the United States, yeah. So
how many years then?
So this was 53 years ago, June 12th.
You're kidding me.
So,
they call it what?
Loving Day.
Loving Day.
Yeah.
So when we had to postpone our wedding, so it was originally in April, we came up with a date, and we wanted our wedding date to mean more than just us getting married. So we saw it, okay, Loving Day, that was the perfect date for us.
53 years ago, you couldn't get...
Yeah, I couldn't,
Yeah.
So the Supreme Court ruling that put out the anti-miscongeniation laws and before in DC, Cecilia and I would not have been a couple.
No.
Right? So,
No.
yeah.
So we tried to make it a little bit more about us and give hope to other couples that it's possible. And it's not a challenge. It hasn't been. We were asked just a couple weeks ago for a magazine if we faced any challenges being an interracial couple, and we haven't. We just try to make what we have a blessing for other people.
There's a learning curve.
Yeah.
Sure. But last year, with the Black Lives Matter and the George Floyd and all that stuff, David once in a while gets a little nervous when he's passing some police on the street. He has to keep both hands on the steering, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that worry you? Doesn't that bother you?
It did, and we spoke about it at length about it, and I voiced my opinion just because I am white and I have different, let's just call them white privileges, and you have to be aware of those things. So marrying David, I'm now a part of him, and I want to support him. And now it's just like when we go to a gas station, I understand why he feels the way he does. And if he walks out or if I walk out, we get different treatment, and I don't believe that should happen, or by any means.
In the 21st century.
Yeah, especially.
What about your children now?
Our children, yes.
I mean, they're gonna live. What kind of life would you want for them?
Well, we're going to have mixed kids, obviously, and I just want them to grow up loving, everyone. We're, like you said, the 21st century, and no matter if you're white or black, or I joke around with my father-in-law, purple, for that matters, a Smurf.
Yeah.
I want just show love and grace and treat them the way that you want to be treated.
Yeah.
So,
David, I mean, you've experienced the worst of the worst in Texas, no less.
Yeah.
I mean, are you afraid your son, your daughter, might be discriminated against, 10, 20 years from now?
Yeah, I'm certain that it's a possibility and actually a reality that they'll have to face, especially that there'll be mixed race. So, because, there's some places where, this is unacceptable, right? Even here, right, where like, no, you're black, you should not, intermingle or so forth. And it's definitely an issue, but one that we are purposed to at least leave the world a better place, right? We can, of course, most people would say, why don't you just, take the easy way out, and why get into a mixed race relationship? I said, love knows no barriers. I did not wake up one morning and say, I'm going to marry a white lady, or I have. Before this, my girlfriend was black. It just didn't work out, not for racial reasons, but simply because we were headed in different directions. Right. For Cecilia and I, it worked out. Our kids will definitely face challenges, but I think the home environment also speaks volumes, and I think I see the winds of change, is what I can say. Yeah. I definitely, 1997 and now 2021, even though we're facing those same challenges in the US, I can definitely see a big difference.
What do your parents think of him?
My parents adore him. Absolutely adore him. My dad finally has a son. Oh. They can, he flips homes now. He's a retired pilot. Right. And whenever David comes, we send the boys off and they build houses. So and my mom and David have a fondness for tea. Yeah. So they bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She likes tea bags or she likes the leaves?
It depends. So she's a big Ketepa Earl Grey.
Oh, okay.
Those only come in tea bags.
Correct.
Yeah.
Strong too.
Ketepa changeable.
That's good advertising.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. They love David. They love David's family, and we've joined 2 new sisters, Priscilla and Elizabeth, and we're all very close in age, and we try to spend as much time with both sides of the family as much as we can.
And your Akorino people, what do they think of?
Oh, my especially my aunt Tabitha, who's watching, absolutely adores her. In fact, she told me said, I'm glad, I'll say it in English and then Kikuyu and then translate it. She goes, which means, I'm glad that you brought us a lady whose name is not difficult to pronounce. Yeah.
Cecilia.
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
Yeah. Cecilia, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. You guys, I don't know what to say. This is the future. You guys are the future.
Thank you.
And the future is now. Let's get to some tweets, guys.
Certainly.
Coming in thick and fast. Dr. Mobs says, ask him, Dr. Ari, what he thinks of our economy and increasing debt. Oh, wow, that's a tough question. Since you're an expert in finance, real quick.
Certainly, yeah. I think the country has taken a more infrastructure-led development type of model, which has its benefits and disadvantages. One of them is big debt, but of course we have to take that into consideration. It has to be taken in relation to what is it that we're getting in terms of the benefits.
Yeah. When you see the infrastructure, because you've come a few times, right? When you see a super highway or Thika, and now there's this expressway from JKLive all the way to the Nakuru Superhighway, what do you think?
I think it's about time. It's about time. I wish it had been done, earlier. It shouldn't, a few administrations ago. But I'm glad it's getting done. Yeah. But for sure, the debt ceiling should be something that we should definitely take a look at.
Good. J.W. Mungai says, ask David Wachira if he can accept an offer to become a future cabinet secretary of finance in Kenya.
Right now. Right now.
I tell you, Kipleting Manuela says, what a show, what a man. Dr. Wachira is a great inspiration to the youthful generation, a role model our youth should emulate. Absolutely. Simpao Lempana says, Wachira is an inspiration of what audacity of hope means. That's Obama's book, right?
Obama's
Audacity
book,
of Hope. Was Michelle there when you were taking
Yes.
She actually has personal pictures with Michelle Obama and LeBron James.
Shut up.
When they were doing their Get Fit initiative. Yeah.
With Nickelodeon,
Yeah.
That's all right.
It is.
Yeah.
She's famous, huh?
Yeah.
Evans Arwiga says, wow, this is awesome. Family sticking with Mukurino culture and tradition abroad. I guess, abroad. Just big up to David Wachira on my behalf, please. All right, big up.
Thank you.
P. Kamau says, very inspiring story by Dr. Wachira, an American Mukurino. Sue57 says, proud of you. Continue shining, man. Any single Mukurino in the US, keep me posted. These are still tweets, yeah? Sammy Mwangi says, I'm proud of David. We are watching him. He is a great inspiration who beat all the odds. Keep it up. There's a few SMSs coming through, folks. A few text messages. Bob Kimani says, can he sing in Kikuyu or even speak? And do they have a church? Your dad has a church in the US.
My dad has a church.
But it's not a Mukurino church.
Not a Mukurino church, yeah.
What is it?
It's actually an all denominational church, Pentecostal affiliated, but anyone can come through. They do sing some Kikuyu hymns, called on the Kigosho, the opening part.
Do they?
Kikuyu, yeah.
They do a bit of Kigosho.
Yeah.
And are there many Kenyans? Are there a few Kenyans who are Mukurinos in the US? Other than your family?
With the exception of us and the ones that visit? No. I only know of one, and then my family.
That's it?
Yeah. We're not in the business of converting souls, not converting Akorino. Right, so.
Well said. Well said. It's a good friend of mine called Maina Kageni. I'm sure you've heard of him. Mm-hmm. You know him?
No. But he
Famous
sounds very familiar.
radio presenter.
Yes.
You know Maina.
Yes.
He says one of the best JKLs ever. This is coming from the competition.
Thank you,
He's supposed to be asleep right now because he's on the radio in the morning.
Yes.
Wow. Senator Ledam, oh, look at this. He's showing me the meat on your farm. Good Lord. 2 years ago, they organized a youth summit. You were talking about it, Strathmore?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And Cecilia was the main photographer.
We're actually looking for a partner university for this time in August. So if we know of any.
So the next one is in August?
Yeah, the next one is in August. We always do it on International Youth Day on August 13th.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll be our fourth one. We did the last one virtually due to COVID, but yeah.
And with all the COVID stuff and all that, I guess you just adjust, right?
Yeah, we just adjusted. So we went virtual for that one, and then this one, hopefully by that particular time, we'll be able to meet. This one will be physical, and virtual, yeah.
And how much longer are you guys in Kenya?
We're here until March 12th.
Okay.
If I can get my wife to extend.
I have some photo shoots to get back to.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I'm married now. Before I'd be like, adios.
Then you have to wait for Mrs. Wachira.
Yeah. Actually, my dad said, what is it I hear about you staying behind and your wife coming back? I'm like, no, it's a mistake. We bought the ticket.
Yeah. We're coming back together.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But we'll be back soon.
Yeah.
I like it here a lot.
Yeah.
I know you will.
Yeah.
I know you will. Guys, you guys are an inspiration. You know that.
Thank you.
You know, I don't know if you read enough of our politics, but it just gets so sickening.
It does, yeah.
But you guys are a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you do. Keep coming back home.
Thank you so much.
Asante
It's a
sana.
pleasure, yeah.
Asante Pia. Cecilia Wachira, Dr. Wachira. Asante sana.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Oh, you don't mind if I do that Johnny Walker thing?
Yeah, go ahead. You want me to do it for you? No, I'm joking.
No? Then you really be
like
kicked
Johnny
out.
Walker.
Yeah, exactly. I love
Get kicked out.
No,
You don't drink tea?
I do not.
Shame. Jeff Koinange Live is
Now you have a hard time doing it.
Yeah, I am now. You know,
Sorry.
I feel like the only one here now. I'm sorry, guys.
No worries.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Jeff Koinange Live is powered by Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker exhibiting its eminence in electrifying quality and celebrating 200 years of extended Scotch excellence. Thanks so much for being a part of this show, folks. Thanks for your tweets and your messages. Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya. Hashtag JKLive. Remember, if it's Wednesday, it's all those three letters on the keyboard that follow each other. JKL. Thanks so much for watching. Good night. Good luck. God bless.
JKLive, charged by Johnny Walker.